We live, man.
Oh, here we go.
What's up, man? What's up? Welcome back to No Filter MMA. It's just me and Brad tonight. Liam's got some things to do. Hopefully, he can pop in pretty soon. But UFC 225 is a stupid stat card, man.
Crazy
It's
card.
crazy, man. It's Dana White promised an explosive summer, man, and you know what I'm saying, like he's starting it off pretty good.
Oh yeah, especially with this card. This card is normally the Chicago cards are fight night cards, but this one
Yeah, yeah,
they went big and made it a dual title fight.
yeah, yeah.
I
So
feel
we
like
got
Chicago is a good fight town to have a stacked card like that too.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of MMA fans in Chicago, man. So that's definitely a good place to have an event there. So, and especially I think this is the first pay-per-view in Chicago, ain't it?
In a while, I don't quote me on it, but I know pretty much like the last 3 or 4 Chicago cards were fight nights. They did have some title fights like T.J. Dillashaw, Henan Barrow too.
Okay.
That was one of the Fox main events.
Yeah.
Um, they've done a couple big like Fox cards in Chicago. Yeah, this is the first pay per view in a while.
Yeah. 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 So we're gonna touch on, of course we got the main event is Yoel Romero, #1 contender versus Champ. So that's a huge title fight. It's their second Romero one. That was the fight, wasn't it?
What's that?
When they fought the first time, that was for the interim belt, right?
That is correct. Yep,
Can you hear
that
me?
is correct.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. This is gonna be the Australian takeover. You got Megan Anderson making her UFC debut.
mm.
You got Tai Tuivasa, on this call, shaping up to be pretty good. So I know I'm excited for 225, man.
Yeah. 225 is got a lot of exciting young prospects coming up too. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that that Australian takeover, when you think about it, is that those guys are the future of MMA. A lot of people would consider guys and girls because Megan Anderson. Um,
yeah.
but when you think about those matchups, those Australians, they have some pretty tough matchups.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
the easiest one amongst them is, I would probably say, Arlovsky and Tuivasa, because just how explosive Tuivasa is. He's young. Arlovsky, has been there, done that. Former champion.
Right,
He's taken a lot of damage in his career too, and he's
right.
been knocked out a couple times also. I know he's coming off a win though. He beat I can't recall who he beat right now off the top of my head. He's coming off a win. Um,
Who you talking about?
Andre Arlovsky.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we. Off the top of my head, I don't know exactly who.
Yep.
Who did I? That's a good one, dude.
He
You
won
got
by
me.
decision.
You got me. You
Oh,
caught me off guard with that one.
the Brazilian kid. Oh man, it looked
You
like he
got
was
me.
wearing a diaper in that fight. It looked like he was wearing a diaper in that fight. I forget that Brazilian.
I can't, dude.
But Arlovsky beat
Uh,
him by unanimous decision.
yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up real quick. An early prelim fights that I wanted to talk about. I gotta look. You got my mind messed up. Uh,
Sorry about
first one,
that.
first one I wanted to was somebody said my phone that I'm going in and out. Brad.
I hear you kind of cutting in and out, but it's correcting itself as it's kind of going.
Hold on.
Yep.
First off,
You're good.
we're gonna talk about Clay Olivier. Go ahead and talk about that. Fix my camera here.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm still gonna have audio, but I'm not gonna have video.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Uh,
So Clay Guida is fighting Charles Olivier. And Olivier took this fight on a 10-day fight notice. You know what I'm saying? So
mm.
that's like he's filling in for Bobby Green. So he's trying to fill in for him. Came in on a short notice, and he's facing somebody like Clay Guida on a 10-day notice. That's pretty risky.
Especially on short notice, because just of
Yeah,
how just because of how gritty Clay Guida is, he's
yeah. That's a pretty dangerous fight. It is what it is, but he's gonna go in. When you see somebody like Clay Guida fight, you expect fireworks. You know what I'm
oh yeah,
saying? Like
yep,
first thing you expect is like fireworks. So I'm pretty sure that's exactly what we're gonna get. Especially in
yeah,
there with Clay Guida.
oh yeah. I'll tell you what. If you think about it, it's a complete different style change for Clay Guida going from
Yes,
facing a
yes,
striker like Bobby Green now to having
yes.
to be careful of going on the ground now with somebody like a Charles Oliveira who's a tremendous black belt on the ground. He's finished a
Right,
lot of guys off his back. So it's
right,
definitely a big game plan change for Clay Guida as well. Definitely
right.
a different kind of fight than what he was preparing for in Bobby Green.
Yeah, and Guida's 2-2 in his last four fights. He's on a 2-fight winning streak. And his last loss, he didn't. His last loss was to, you know, Brian Ortega. You know what I'm saying? So, and we know how
Number one
phenomenal.
contender. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know how phenomenal Brian Ortega is, and in that fight, if I can remember correctly, he was on the feet. You know what I'm saying? He was getting the best
He
of
was
Brian
holding his own.
Ortega. Yeah, he
Yeah,
was. He was.
he definitely was holding his own.
Yeah. So I mean, Clay Guida, he's a veteran. He's not the one, to take
Re-
lightly as an opponent.
no, remember when Anthony Pettis first got his UFC debut against Clay Guida? Clay
Yes.
Guida derailed that hype train. He just grinded him down.
He
Just
did.
grinded him down.
Yeah, he
Took all
did.
that
He
fancy
did.
stuff away. That was right after Anthony Pettis had that wheel kick off the cage on Benson Henderson.
Yep.
So yeah, Clay Guida, he definitely destroys hype. But Charles Oliveira is no joke. I actually think Charles Oliveira will actually upset Clay Guida if you want to call it an upset. I
Yeah.
just think he's just too long, too lengthy, and then on top of that, his ground game off his back is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's an interesting matchup, that's on the early prelims that I want to see. Also
What
Joseph,
about
go ahead.
good? Yep.
I was gonna say Joseph
Yeah, you.
Benavidez and Sergio Pettis.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yep.
gonna be and I understand what Benavidez was saying. He put out a statement saying, um, he was kind of upset that a number one contender and a number five contender, in especially in the flyweight division for the men's, which has been circulating that they're supposed to be doing away with that division. That they pushed them all the way to the early prelims. And he's just like he put out a statement saying, how come we can't get a main card? Because it's been a while since
Yeah.
a featherweight, a flyweight men's fight has been on a pay-per-view main card. You know,
Yeah.
so
No, you're absolutely right.
yeah, I understand what he's saying. Because that's I know guys live chat saying they can't see me. I know my screen's acting up, my camera's acting up, so you guys just gonna have to go without seeing me this time. It's all good though. Um, Benavidez has been out since 2016 with an ACL injury. His last fight
Yeah.
was the Ultimate Fighter against Henry Cejudo, Ultimate Fighter
Yep.
finale.
Yeah, he was out. He was out with an injury for quite some time, and it's taking the Sergio Pettis fight is a pretty pretty dangerous fight for him to come back to. But, you know, Benavidez has always been such a, you know, how can I say, I guess a staple of that division. He's always taken out those contenders. He just can't, he couldn't ever get over the Mighty Mouse hump. You know, Mighty Mouse is just,
and he fought him,
on another level.
Twice. And he fought him twice.
Fought him twice.
Yeah.
Fought him twice. Yeah, but I actually think Benavidez I think he beats Sergio Pettis. I think Benavidez comes back and beats Sergio Pettis just because of Benavidez' experience, you know. I think though Pettis has gained experience, you know, he's coming off the loss from Henry Cejudo, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's got some experience in big fights too, but Benavidez obviously fighting Mighty Mouse as much as he did has definitely much more championship type experience.
Yeah, well, he definitely said he wanted to. He's definitely gunning for a third fight with DJ, but you know, I think he needs probably a couple more good wins under his belt, especially being out for that long. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're gonna have to get a couple of good fights under your belt before you go back in there with DJ. You know, so it is what it is.
He probably have to run it back with Cejudo.
Yeah, because that was a controversial.
Yeah, that was a super. Yeah, it was a super close fight. Yeah, that was a super close fight. Super close fight. They could definitely rematch again.
And then then you've got Rashad Evans fighting Smith. You know what I'm saying? So Rashad Evans is, you know, he coming off of a loss. I think he's coming off of a loss, right?
I think he's on a 3 or 4 fight losing streak, I think.
Yeah, he's lost his last few fights.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that fight, you know, I'm pushing for Rashad Evans. I hope he, you know, I hope he comes out with a victory and we see some classic Rashad Evans. Because when you see him, like his training footage and all that kind of stuff, he looks like, you know, he
looks awesome.
Yeah, you know, he looks like he's in shape. He looks good, you know.
Then when he gets in those fights, it seems like something hasn't been clicking for him when he gets in the cage. You know what I'm saying? It's almost when you look at his last couple fights, he's just so tentative. You know, maybe just because he knows his chin isn't, you know, what it used to be. He's been in a lot of wars too. You know.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of crazy, but I hope, you know, like I said, I hope we see some classic Rashad Evans.
I hope he does win. But unfortunately, I think the other kid's youth is going to probably overwhelm Rashad. I think Rashad, if I'm betting, I'm taking Anthony Smith, but my heart is with Rashad Evans, of course.
Yeah, I'm with my heart's with Rashad Evans too, you know. So it is what it is. But anyways, let's see. Let's go on to Claudia Gadelha versus Carla Esparza. Now, I really want to talk about. I want to talk about this one. You know, I mean, these two have had some. I think my camera thing's working fine. Let me see. You guys tell me if y'all have any issues.
Could try to get back on.
Hold on. Somebody, let's see. Dakey Henry says, can't watch stream from the start. Where's the Aussie guy today? Liam has some things to do. He has some things to do. He'll hopefully be jumping on. So, you know, him pop on.
It's morning time over there. He's still asleep.
Yeah. It's a 12-hour difference between us and Liam. So, you know, Liam can't make it on sometimes. We understand because it's 9. I mean, it's 10 in the morning where he's at. So, you know, get a guy time to wake up. But anyway, they were supposed to fight for the inaugural. Yeah, I can't mess it up. All right, I'll take it off. They were supposed to fight for the Invicta strawweight belt, but Claudia Gadelha apparently she had withdrew from the fight twice. Once was a broken nose, and then she was taken to the hospital the day before the fight was supposed to happen. And then we know after that that Carla Esparza went on to the Ultimate Fighter and won the Ultimate Fighter and became the inaugural UFC strawweight champion. And you know, in this fight here, Claudia Gadelha coming off of a loss to Jessica Andrade. I mean, Jessica Andrade, she manhandled, you know, Claudia Gadelha, and Claudia Gadelha is a great
yeah.
fighter. You know, she's a former title contender. You know what I'm saying? She's fought Joanna Jędrzejczyk twice, but you know, it just seems like Claudia, something like you said, something's not clicking for Rashad Evans. It seems like something's not clicking for Claudia Gadelha. Like it's her cardio, bro. It seems like, you know, when she's in a tough fight, she fades every time. You know?
Yeah, you could tell when Claudia Gadelha fights with this killer instinct. You know, she throws 100% into everything:
Yeah.
takedowns, clinch, you know, punches, just everything. You know, so she's an explosive athlete, and
Right.
that fight with Jessica Andrade was a great fight between both of
Yeah.
them too. You know, because
It was.
Andrade was like the bully in that fight, but Gadelha is just so damn technical. She's so good. She's so
Right.
good everywhere. The power advantage for Andrade was so much for her. So I think I think Gadelha wins this fight easily with Carla Esparza. To be honest with you, even though Carla Esparza, you know, she was a former champion. She won the Ultimate Fighter.
She has a
She
win
beat
over
Rose
Rose.
Namajunas.
Yes, she
Yeah,
has a win. She has a win over
she's got a win
Rose.
over Thug Rose. That's
Yeah.
true. Even though if they fought again, we all know Thug Rose would absolutely annihilate her this time. But that's going to be for another podcast.
Exactly.
But you know, Esparza is a veteran too. You know, she's got a solid game. I just think Claudia Gadelha is too explosive, a little bit more technical, and I think she just keeps. I see her keeping Esparza on her back foot, and I think uh, Gadelha finishes Esparza inside of 2 rounds.
Oh, okay, that's a good prediction.
Yeah,
What I was gonna say was I'm actually pulling for Carla Esparza in this fight, and the reason I'm picking Carla Esparza, I'm not necessarily pulling for Carla Esparza, but I'm picking her to win because I can kind of see, you know, Carla Esparza's stand up has improved, especially in her fight with uh, who did she? Cynthia Cavillo, her last win over
yeah.
Cynthia. Well, not her last win, but 2 wins ago. And her stand up has improved a lot because when she fought Joanna Jędrzejczyk, I mean, she couldn't do anything on the feet, and she couldn't seem to get Joanna to the ground. And when you get to when Carla Esparza gets you to the ground, that is where she is at her best. You know what I'm saying? But you know, on the flip side, as far as her stand up has improved. You have to say that. I mean, you have to give her credit that her stand up has improved. So
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
you
She can
know.
definitely hold her own. She definitely can hold her own.
So if she can, you know, if she can trade and land some good shots on the feet against Claudia Gadelha, and then like I said, Claudia Gadelha has the tendency to fade. You know, when you get into round 2, going into round 3, you know she tends to fade. It's only a 3-round fight, so then again, you know she faded in 5-round fights, but you know she may be a little fresher in this 3-round fight. But if Esparza smart, she would take it to the ground and try to tire out Claudia Gadelha. That's what I think. You know what I'm saying? That would be her key to victory is, try to get it down, tire Claudia Gadelha out, and possibly go for the submission. So that's what I think about that fight. I'm still picking Carla Esparza. I think, she really wants that belt back. She really wants to be back on top. So she's hungry.
Nice. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been battling myself with that fight, over the last week or so, trying to, watching footage on both of them, thinking, wow, it could go either way, but, I'm picking Carla Esparza.
Okay.
Next up, you got Curtis Blades versus Alistair Overeem. Little
Ooh.
controversy with that fight too, because that fight was originally on the main card. And then Megan Anderson and Holly Holm was the feature prelim bout, and then they got switched. So little controversy with that, but Overeem didn't seem to have an issue with it. So it is what it is. So he's still gonna get paid either
Yeah,
way.
Overeem. Yeah, Overeem's a calm guy. The reason why they did it, well, at least why Dana claims they did it, is it's a ratings thing. They figure
Yeah,
they'll be able to get more ratings with Megan and Holly, which they're right, because that kind of is like a contender fight, for Cyborg. Even
Absolutely.
though Amanda may jump in there and challenge Cyborg, but that fight, Alistar and Curtis Blades, is going to be very interesting, just because Curtis
Yeah.
Blades is such a really good explosive wrestler. He's
Yes.
young.
Yes.
He's coming off that win off Mark Hunt, a great win against Mark Hunt in Australia, by the way.
Yes.
He
Yes.
fought Mark Hunt really good. Alistair, you never know what Alistair Overeem you're going to get. And I'm a little biased because, he's a fellow Dutchman like myself. So, my heart is
Right.
definitely with Overeem for sure. But you just never know what you're getting with Alistair Overeem. One fight, when a fight like Brock Lesnar, a fight when he finished Junior Dos Santos, he looks like a world champion. He looks like he can
Right.
at least
Right.
contend for a championship. And then when he does get his opportunity, then he just he fails against Stipe Miocic. Then that fight, he gets his head knocked knocked into the
Man.
next century.
Oh my goodness.
But you just never know. Coming off 2 losses, you think you should get a better, more explosive Alistair Overeem. But he's got to be, I don't know. Curtis Blades is a really tough wrestler. And if he can withstand Overeem in the clinch and
Yes.
Overeem's
Yes.
first round kind of blitz that Overeem likes to do, if he can
Yes.
withstand that, Curtis Blades is a pretty good bet to win the fight. But, I'm going with my heart. So I'm taking Alistair Overeem in the second round by way of TKO.
And that's a good prediction. That is, and I actually have the same prediction. Alistair Overeem, because I mean, if you look at the body, if you look at the bodies of work, Alistair Overeem is 40. He has 43 wins, 16 losses, and 1 no contest. You know what I'm saying? That's over
That's
six.
That's experience.
That's 60 fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's 60 fights.
That's
So
not even including his K1 record. And he's got over 40 fights in his K1 career.
I mean,
So he's got almost 100 fights in his career. Think about that.
exactly. So he's got a lot of experience. I think he's, people are saying he's a little past his prime, especially after that Ngannou fight. Because I'm telling you, Francis Ngannou knocked him into next year.
I'll tell you what, Francis Ngannou took some lives all off of Alistair Overeem's life with that punch. That was incredible. That was an incredible uppercut.
Yeah, that was crazy, man.
So you have Alistair, but also by TKO over Curtis Blades.
Yeah, I got. Even though I got to, man. Even though Curtis Blades is 9-1 and 9-1-1. He's on a 3-fight winning streak, beating Olenek and Mark Hunt. But Alistair Overeem has wins over people like Mark Hunt, Fabricio over Doom. Didn't he fight? He fought Stephen Struve. Yeah, Junior Dos Anjos.
Struve. Yep.
Roy Nelson, Frank Mir. Those
Brock
are huge.
Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, probably none bigger than Brock Lesnar.
Man, that's an amazing record.
He destroyed Brock Lesnar. Yeah, he destroyed Brock Lesnar.
So that experience is just stands out too much for me, man. So I'm gonna go with
advantage.
I'm gonna go with Alistair. I'm gonna go with Alistair Overeem. And then next up we have Tai Tuivasa. Oh, wait. We got some live comments. Overeem has a weak chin, but Blades doesn't have the power to knock him out. Only way Blades wins, in my opinion, the same as the Hunt fight, and tires to wet blanket him.
Yep.
Yeah, most definitely.
Well said. That's the only way I could see Curtis Blades winning is by wrestling and just kind of wearing on Alistair Overeem,
Kind of like similar to what Stipe did to Francis Ngannou.
Yep. That was a good comment.
Yeah, thank you, Dakey Henry. We appreciate that. Hit the
Good
like button,
comment,
guys.
Henry.
Hit the like button, guys. Appreciate that. Next up, yeah, Tai Tuivasa versus Andre Arlovsky. Now this is,
Mm.
this is the beginning of the. This is wait a minute. Is
The
that
Aussie
fight?
takeover.
Yeah, is that fight before? Let me see. Wait a minute. Let me look at the card. I'm trying to figure out. Is that fight before? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Bear with me. Bear with me, guys. Okay, yeah. So you have. Excuse me. Wait a minute. I skipped one. I skipped a very important fight on the card, and that is Mike Jackson versus CM Punk.
Mm.
Man,
That's
I don't know. Oh, I don't know what to think about this fight, dude. Like, I don't even know where to start. I mean, this card,
I'm just gonna keep this one short and simple. I think it's pretty easy actually. Mike Jackson, younger kid, has trained MMA longer. Mike Jackson, first round TKO. That's all I'm gonna say on that fight.
yeah, man. I mean, it's a toss up for me, man. I mean, I don't really know who to pick, but CM Punk could surprise us. You never know. And he looks like he's been training pretty hard. Um,
Trains at a
you know,
good camp for sure.
yeah, he trains at a good camp, so you know
Duke
he he,
Rufus. Duke
he
Rufus
lost.
is an excellent gym to learn yeah, especially the striking part of MMA. That's definitely a great
Yeah,
gym to train. And he's got wrestlers like Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley. He's got monster wrestlers there too to help him with the ground aspect as well too. Grappling is you know he's got probably two of the best in MMA, especially Ben Askren.
exactly. Yep. That's right. That is
So the
right.
next
So
fight is Tuivasa and Arlovsky.
and Arlovsky, 27-15-0. Andre Arlovsky is fighting 7
Mm.
and 0, 7-0, tied to Ivasa. He's 2-0 in the
Mm.
UFC, 2-0 in the UFC. His last win is over Cyril Askew. I know I'm butchering that name,
Mm.
and Rashad Cote. Both of them via TKO. So, Tai
Okay.
Tuivasa he's on a tear right now. He's got a lot.
Well,
So I
well,
mean, but he's facing a veteran in Andre Arlovsky though. So that kind of worries me a little bit.
yeah. Arlovsky is he's definitely a tricky fighter. He's training out of a gym that they're going to have him prepared. He's going to have his tactics ready to go. Greg Jackson and those guys. He's still training over there. Uh, I think Ty Tuivasa just has to use his explosiveness, his youth, and
Yes,
I mean, this could be also another walk in the park. This could be easily another first round KO for him or TKO for him. But you know what? I'm going to go against the grain a little bit. Liam's not going to like this, but you know, I'm gonna take the old bet, Andre Arlovsky, by unanimous decision. I think he stays tricky enough. He keeps Tuivasa at the end of his punches, and he keeps Tuivasa at bay, and he does enough to get a unanimous decision. I believe that's my prediction.
Reggie the trees in the live chat. What's up, man? Welcome, man. Welcome to No Filter MMA, bro. Appreciate you coming in and showing us some support. Absolutely. Thank you, man.
Thank you,
Dakey,
Reggie. We appreciate you.
Dakey, Dakey Henry says all of Ty's fights have been by first round KO. I reckon due to Arlovsky's age and deteriorating chin. Andre Arlovsky has taken a lot of damage in his UFC career, in his MMA career, period. So, like I said, like Brad said, the age factor and the damage factor could definitely play a role. Besides the skill set of it all, it could play a huge role in the way this heavyweight fight goes. Heavyweight fights usually don't last very long. So um, yeah, I can see this fight going. I'm gonna go with Tai Tuivasa just because of his he's on his momentum, man. He's ready. He's going for the gold, and he's knocking everybody out that they put in front of him. So I definitely see
Yeah.
Tai Tuivasa. I see Tai Tuivasa with a first round KO.
Oh, I wouldn't be shocked if he gets that first round KO.
Yeah,
That's an absolute great prediction right there. He could definitely devastate him in the first round.
yeah. So I mean, Andre Arlovsky, he could pull the upset because the momentum is definitely. My question is, I'm curious to see how the odds look on this fight. You have the veteran Smith.
Tuivasa is the favorite.
Yeah, that's what I figured that. I figured he would be
Mm-hmm.
the favorite just because of the momentum and all that stuff. So
Yep.
absolutely, I see that. I see that going either way, but I'm gonna predict. I'm gonna predict Tai Tuivasa. All right, I got
Okay. Good
you.
pick. Good pick.
Next
Next.
up, next up. Megan Anderson versus Holly Holmes. This is the first non-title featherweight fight, women's fight in the UFC. And I'm pretty sure
That's right.
this is kind of, this fight's going to be there to determine who fights Cyborg next if Amanda Nunes doesn't step up. So, I'm curious to see what you think about it, Brad.
Well, I actually have. I think Holly Holm wins this fight by unanimous decision as well. I think kind of like the same game plan Arlovsky will have against Tuivasa. Though Megan Anderson is just as tall as Holly Holm, just as big. I just think Holly Holm's boxing experience and again her overall experience against the higher opposition, I think definitely that plays into her hands. Obviously, she's technical as hell. So I take Holly Holm by unanimous decision.
Well,
Megan will make
okay,
it a tough fight, though. Megan will make it a tough, gritty fight. She definitely is going to. She'll push the pace on Holly, but I just think Holly is just too technical. She's gonna have too many tactics, and I take again Holly by unanimous decision.
yeah, Holly definitely. She has the experience factor over Megan Anderson. But Megan, the thing about Megan Anderson is, well, the thing about Holly Holm is very predictable. You know what I'm saying? Like she's very like she fights the same way every time, and that's why I think Holly has lost 4 out of her last 5 fights. Um, it's just because everybody knows what to expect from Holly. She's gonna telegraph all of her punches. She's gonna throw straight left. She's gonna circle for the kick. She's gonna do what Holly does. And the thing about Megan Anderson is Megan hasn't done. She hasn't fought that much. She's never fought in the UFC. Her experience isn't as much as Holly. Holly's a world champion boxer. Extensive career, but Megan has the significant size advantage. Holly's what 5'8", 5'7". Megan's 6 feet. And she's got a 2.5 inch reach advantage. She has a 74.5 inch reach versus Holly has a 72 inch reach. So that's going to play a huge role in how this fight goes because Holly is. I don't think Holly's going to be able to finish. She's not going to be able to get that clean head kick. You know what I'm saying on
That's
Megan because
why.
Megan
Yeah,
is
that's
so
why I took her by
tall.
decision. Yeah,
And
that's why I
I
took
think
her by
Holly's going to have
decision.
to find.
I think you cut out, brother. You there, BJ? Well, guys, we are having some technical difficulties. I think we lost BJ. All right, guys. Well, are you there, BJ?
Yo, are we back?
There he
Are we
goes.
back?
Yep. Yeah, we're still here.
Something happened. Something happened.
It's okay. You're back on now.
Can you hear me, Brad?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we back up. What happened?
I have no idea. You just went silent and I couldn't hear anything.
Live
Just
chat. Live chat. Can y'all hear us? Let us know if y'all can hear us back. We had a little blurb in our network connection. I don't know what happened. Let us know if y'all can hear us. All right. Anyways, my question to you, Brad, is how is Megan gonna? I mean, how's Holly gonna handle the power of Megan Anderson?
well, that's a very good question. From what I've seen, Holly Holm, she already fought the heaviest hitter you could fight at female fighting in Cyborg, and she didn't get finished. She didn't get finished. She actually kept
Can you
that
hear
fight
me, Brad?
competitive. Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. I can hear you
You
now.
can hear
Go
me?
ahead.
Okay. No, so what I was saying was, well, Holly Holm already fought the hardest hitting female fighter on the planet in Cyborg Santos, and she withstood that. So I think Holly can deal with Megan's power easily. Holly took hard shots from Cyborg, and she withstood him. Can you hear me?
You gonna have to say that one more time. I didn't hear a word you said. It completely cut out when you were talking.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So what I was saying was Holly Holm has already fought the hardest hitting female on the planet in Cyborg Santos. Can you hear me, BJ?
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, guys. We're coming. We're coming. We're coming. Just had some network issues, and I don't know why. All right. All right. So the boys are coming back. The boys are coming back. Sorry about that, guys. Um, having some technical difficulties here. We're still live. Still live. Boys coming back. Boys coming back. We coming, we coming, we coming, we coming. I don't know what happened. We were talking about Holly and Megan, and then all of a sudden the connection just went kaput. Trying to get my boys back in. Trying to get my boys back in, y'all. Hold on, we coming. All right, guys. I don't know what happened at all, but I'm back. I guess I can't. I'm trying to get the guys back in, but can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I'm trying to get the guys back in, but it ain't going to work. I don't know. Anyways, y'all let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. Well, let me know if you can hear me, guys. All right, so Dakey Henry says, what do you reckon Megan's chances against Sabo would be, or should I say, be if, or should I say, when she gets past Holly Holm? My opinion. All right, you hear me. My opinion is that Megan needed this tune-up fight. Like she needed it. She needed a fight before um, she just jumped in the cage with Cyborg. So I kind of see where she was coming from, why she didn't take the fight with Cyborg right away, especially like straight out of Invicta. Um, so I see where she's coming from, why she didn't do it. Like I said, she needed that tune-up fight. She hadn't fought in 18 months. Her last fight was against Charmaine Tweed. Um, so hopefully she can come back in. You know, hopefully she can come in and get the win over Holly. And I'd like to see. I mean, we've already seen Holly versus Cyborg, so I'd definitely like to see Megan versus Cyborg. I think Megan has a lot of weapons that could definitely disturb Cyborg a little bit because Cyborg hadn't really been hit. Like she's been hit by Holly, but I mean, Holly doesn't have as much power as somebody like Megan Anderson. Megan's got that lethal right hand, you know, and that right hand can cause problems for anybody in the featherweight division. As we can see, like the things that Holly has done, I mean, things that Megan has done in Invicta, you know, she put Amber Lebrock away, she put Peggy Morgan away terribly, and she also, I mean, she almost got knocked out by Charmaine Tweet. Charmaine Tweet hit her with a spinning back fist that was pretty lethal. Um, you know, and it almost knocked Megan out. It stumbled Megan. You know, I think it hurt her nose pretty bad. But she leaves herself open a lot, so she's gonna have to work on that, especially when she's fighting Holly. She said she's been working on her stand up. Uh, she said she's been working on her stand up a lot. She puts a lot of training footage out. You know, so hopefully, you know, we'll see how good her stand up has improved as far as like her head movement and just her movement period. Um, in this fight with Holly because she's going to have to use a lot of movement. She's going to have to use a lot of movement to avoid somebody like, you know, Holly Holm and her offense. So it's freaking crazy, but we'll see exactly what happens. I'm predicting Megan to go for the win. Um, hold on, guys. So her versus Cyborg. She has a chance of winning. Of course, the bigger chance goes to Cyborg just because of Cyborg. She's been unbeaten in a long, 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 long time. So we'll see exactly what happens. Of course, we got all the new talent for the featherweight division coming in through the Ultimate Fighter next season. I'm going to be happy to see who they bring in. I've seen Pam Sorensen was there, Cindy Dandois was there, Elizabeth Phillips was there. Um, so it's a lot of talent there coming in to that division. They're going to build that division. You got Leah Letson hanging out there. You got Yana Kunitskaya hanging out there. You got a lot of different girls hanging out. Brad, there he is. He's back. He's back.
I'm back.
Sorry about that. I'm just talking about the upcoming with the featherweight division, the upcoming women from the tough competition that they're getting ready to start filming on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
That's
I
the
had,
one. That's the one Pam's in, right?
yes, yes, yes. My question before we got messed up was, what do you think that Megan has to do to beat Holly, and vice versa?
Well, actually, your question was, can Holly Holm deal with
Yeah,
Megan
that's what it
Anderson's
was.
power?
That's what it was.
And I said, well, Holly Holm already fought the hardest hitting female on the planet, and she survived. She didn't get finished. That was
Right,
Cyborg. Cyborg absolutely, yes, hurt her, but Holly made that fight super competitive. So I think Holly deals with Megan's power just fine. I don't think um, that Megan can finish Holly Holm on the feet. I think Megan could get her down and submit Holly Holm. If she gets her down, she could definitely submit. She has the ground game to submit Holly Holm, but on the feet, I just think Holly will be too technical for her and too fast, way too
right.
fast for her.
She's fast. Holly's fast. She's quick.
Yeah. Yep.
But what do you think about Holly telegraphing all of her punches, though?
Oh, for sure she does it, but I mean, hey, she's only lost what, 3 fights, 4 fights in her career, and those were all championship fights. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Most of them were.
everybody
Yeah.
else, she's pretty much handled. She's always been kind of that point fighter. That she doesn't really get KOs like that, with the exception of the Ronda Rousey fight. She doesn't
Right.
really finish people. She's
Bitchko, yeah.
perfectly fine just getting her
She finished.
points and being technical and trying to avoid damage. She's got little tactics here and there. I just think her overall experience will be too much for Megan. I think Megan debut, you're pretty fighting a former champion. That's
Right.
that's a lot of pressure for Megan. And on top of that, another reason why I think a lot of these Australian fighters are at a disadvantage. You got to think about it. They're coming from a different time change. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That time change, that travel is absolutely taxing on those guys. They try to come early and get acclimated with the time change and all that stuff, but that only helps. But for so long, they're still not fully used to.
Adjusted. They're not
Yeah,
fully
yeah,
adjusted. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think that's why I think a lot of those Australian fighters are kind of at a disadvantage on top of fighters that already have the experience advantage over them. Maybe with the
Right.
exception of Yoel and Whitaker, which we'll touch on that fight in a little bit.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, Holly Holm by unanimous decision for me.
So in the comments, Dakey said, "What do you reckon Megan's chances against Cyborg would be if, or should I say, when she gets past home?"
Ooh, it doesn't matter. I mean, Cyborg is just too powerful, man. She's too powerful and too good. Cyborg runs over Megan Anderson. Really doesn't matter who wins that fight, because Amanda Nunes is probably going to be the front runner to get the next shot at Cyborg.
Well, Megan could definitely, she could win the fight though. She could definitely win the fight. If like I was saying when we got cut off a minute ago, Megan's right hand can cause problems for anybody. And if Megan happens to land that right hand on side, a clean right hand on Cyborg, I'm not saying it'll knock her out, but it'll wake her up.
Yeah, it'll
You
get
know
her
what I'm
attention.
saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Amanda Nunes may be the one that beats Cyborg, but I believe Holly's gonna beat. I believe Megan will beat Holly, and I think it'll be Cyborg versus Megan, most
So,
definitely, because I
so
think
you
that's the fact that made.
so you take Megan by what?
I take Megan by second round, or I take Megan. Yeah, I take Megan by second round KO.
Okay.
Most definitely, I take Megan
I
by
res-
second round
I-
KO, or some
okay.
kind of stoppage,
I respect it.
some kind of stoppage. I think she'll stop the fight most definitely, but um, we'll see. That's all I can say about that one.
All
We'll
right.
see. We'll see.
All right.
Uh, I'm
Next fight.
excited about it.
Let's.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We have the interim welterweight fight between
Ooh.
between Rafael dos Anjos and Kobe Chaos Covington.
Mm.
What do you think Kobe Covington is trying to accomplish with his antics as of here lately? Like, what do you think that his goal is? Do you think he's trying to be like Conor McGregor? Do you think he's just doing it for his own benefit, or you think he took a page out of what Conor does as far as talking and actually winning? Because I mean, Kobe Covington, as much shit as he talks, he can back it up.
Listen, BJ, we've all seen this throughout history, right? Everybody likes a good everybody likes a good superhero, right?
Right.
But who always gets paid the most? Who always is the most entertaining? Bad guys are the most entertaining. They get paid the most because they make things more interesting. They either you love the guy or you hate the guy. You're gonna watch.
Right.
The objective is to get people to watch. The more people you get to watch, the more money you're going to make. Conor put the blueprint. Before Conor, Chael put the blueprint. Before Chael, you had some of the other MMA pioneers like Tito Ortiz. Tito Ortiz used to talk some trash.
Tito Ortiz, absolutely.
He was popular for it. Now we know everybody thinks that martial arts is supposed to have this respectful allure, which it should. Martial arts definitely should have respect, but this is entertainment. So the entertainment part of it, you need the bad guy.
Yes.
But what I will say, and you're absolutely right, BJ, he just reeks of too much Conor McGregor. He's trying to be so much like Conor, it's almost a little sickening to hear. Yeah, exactly. So RDA is again a well-rounded, phenomenal fighter. He's beaten the who's who both in welterweight and lightweight. I don't know if you actually saw earlier today. Conor McGregor actually confirmed today on a MMA website that I read on. He announced that 224 UFC card, actually the main event, he got offered. It was supposed to be him versus Rafael dos Anjos for the interim welterweight title. But he actually confirmed that he turned it down.
Well, what I read was that he was supposed to fight, and that the incident that happened, with the whole bus with the chair,
yeah,
the chair,
that was the other thing.
Or the dolly, said that's what stopped it.
Yep, that's actually the root of what stopped it for sure.
Right.
But he was headed to New York to negotiate for that fight.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
pretty big.
Yeah, so,
that was pretty big.
Yeah, that's pretty big news.
Yeah, but I'll just fight Kobe Covington, and I think Hoffa finishes Colby Covington in the third round.
Yeah,
Hoffa finishes him by TKO. Book
yeah,
it.
and I'm thinking the same thing, man, because once again the experience factor plays into it.
Yep.
Kobe Covington's great. He's a great striker. He's a great wrestler. He mixes it up well. He shoots for take. He makes you think he's going to shoot for a takedown. And if you stuff his takedown, the one thing that I've noticed, if you stuff Kobe Covington's takedown, immediately he's up throwing strikes. So I mean, he's
Yeah.
very sneaky. He's very
Phenomenal
sneaky.
wrestler.
Yeah, he's very sneaky on the hand, and he's very sneaky on the feet and on the ground. But Rafael dos Anjos, I mean, like I said, the experience factor it just plays in. He moved up in weight, and he moved up in weight. Yeah, he moved up in
Yeah.
weight, and he's been great up there. So we'll see exactly how that goes. Let's see. The live chat says although RDA has shown some issues against wrestlers, he is still going to maul Kobe so hard. Kobe was tagged by Maya against the beast like RDA. He's going to get knocked the fuck out. So
Yep. So it
I
looks
mean,
like the chat kind of agrees with us that RDA will probably end up knocking him out or TKOing him.
Yeah, he did get tagged by Damian Maya, and if you get tagged by Damian Maya, that's a problem. Damian Maya is great. Damian Maya is great, but Damian Maya is a jiu-jitsu specialist.
Right. He's not a great striker.
Right.
He strikes good enough to stay on his stay on his feet to try to set up his takedowns.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm actually going to go with Rafael dos Anjos on this one. I see him getting the upset. I think he'll put Kobe Covington to sleep as far as just not knocking him out. I'm talking as far as
subbing
the trash talk. Yeah, the trash talk. The trash talk.
Oh, okay.
How
do you think RDA wins? How do you think he wins?
I think RDA wins by submission.
Ooh, I could definitely see that too.
I think he would out grapple.
Look at this guy.
Boy. Oh boy, look who's in.
What's up, Liam?
How you doing?
Liam's in the
How's
building,
it going, man?
Liam.
Good, bro. Good.
Man, the live chat.
Good, bro. Good.
Live chat been asking about. Hey, where you at?
Yeah, we're live. We're talking about the co-main event, Liam. Who do you have?
The co-main.
Yep. That's going to be Colby Covington and RDA for the interim welterweight title.
Yeah, Colby Covington all the way. Yeah, Colby Covington.
Oh, really? Colby.
I don't reckon. I want him to win because it'll be controversial, and I like that. I want it to be controversial. That'll be funny. I want him to win. I want him to win.
You see what we were talking about, BJ? Liam just answered it right there. He wants to see Colby win because he's interesting, right? Because he's the bad guy. I told you that.
Yes.
Right. Brings more eyeballs to TV.
If he's talking so much shit, he comes in and knocks him out. Bruh, what the fuck just happened? You know what I mean?
Right.
He's not qualified to win. So if he wins, he's just going to be like, all right, so we'll get back to the drawing board and the fucking everything, you know?
So, all right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Liam.
No, I was going to say, like, BJ, I can't see your face, but what happened to your screen?
Oh, yeah, BJ.
What the fuck? What happened, man?
BJ, try to get your video going.
Ah, shit.
Man, it was giving us some technical issues earlier, man.
Yeah, no,
people were like,
it's
messing up.
It's buzzing. It was like I was sleeping, bro, and I was like, and I was like, "Fuck is that?" And it was you boys.
It's us, man. There you go. There's BJ. I said, "There's BJ." There he goes.
Too easy. Everything's working. No technical difficulties here. Boys, it is raining in Australia. What the fuck? It is raining.
Is it really?
Right.
So you should
look outside? I'll show you outside, boys. Look at this.
You guys need the rain, man.
Look at this shit.
Does it make you want to go outside and play in the rain, Liam? Look at that. Yeah.
Nah.
You don't want to play in the rain, bro?
Nah, bro. What do you mean? Play in the rain? How old am I? I'm not that young, man. Like,
I'm messing with you, bro. I'm messing with you. All fun, bro. All fun.
Liam's going. He's going to go dance in the rain.
So Colby Covington by what, Liam? Give it to us. Give us your prediction. Colby Covington by what? Or do you believe in your heart RDA is going to finish him?
Look, I believe in my heart RDA, but I want Covington to do like a spinning elbow or some shit, just knock him out. Woo! Woo!
If you bet your money, who you taking, Liam?
RDA. Yeah.
There you go. All right.
RDA is a sensible for a punter. It's a sensible. What do you guys call them? You call them punters as well? Is it punter? I don't know.
You
betters. The person who's betting.
Like favorite.
Yeah, he's the favorite.
Well, no.
Yeah, who's
forget about it. Cultural language change. Don't worry about it. I'll just keep going.
It's all good. I know it. I know what you mean. RDA should, on paper, when you really look at it, me and BJ were breaking it down. RDA should win. Right, should win.
Just
right.
Like statistically, your Romero's going to get beaten and you're wrong, Brad.
Oh, wait! Stop! We have it. Let's move on. BJ, move us on, bro. Let's go. This is what we were waiting for. I was waiting all day for this segment. I was hoping Liam was going to wake up. Let's move on to that goddamn main event right now. Let's go. I'm fired up now. Let's go, Liam.
For the main event of the evening, we have the championship middleweight fight between the champion, Robert Whittaker, versus the number one contender, Yoel Romero.
Don't worry. Let me just play this out.
And that's for.
Let me just play this out real quick.
Uh-oh. Liam, do you see me, Liam?
I see it. There are two ways this fight's going to go. Yeah?
Go ahead.
All right. So,
let's go.
Way number one, Whittaker smokes him on his feet, or way number two, Whittaker smokes him on the ground. Those are the only two options, and that is
Whoa!
It's over. Whittaker's going to smoke him. No matter where he goes.
Whoa! So Robert Whittaker by what? And what round? And by what option does he win and beat Yoel Romero?
If Whittaker wants to, first round, first minute knockout, but I mean, he's probably just going to toy him for a bit, give him a couple of rounds, and he'll knock him out if he feels like it. If he wants to play a point guard, he'll do that as well. It's not a big deal. He's not worried. He just go in there. He does his own thing. I mean, he's respectful as an opponent, obviously, but Whittaker knows. Whittaker knows. He knows he's too humble, man. He knows he's going to destroy Romero. Destroy.
Ah! So can I please tell you why Yoel Romero is gonna absolutely annihilate Robert Whittaker?
Go ahead.
Sure, bro. If you believe that, go for it. Yeah, go for
it. Bro, Yoel Romero is a monster. Did you read Robert Whittaker's statement today, Liam?
I just
on the fight.
No, I didn't.
Robert Whittaker came out and admitted that this fight is a 50-50 fight. So he already believes that he can lose this fight. He already lost the fight before he entered. To even come out and say something like that. Yoel Romero wins this fight. Third round, TKO.
Woo! 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 Whoa! 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 No,
third round, TKO.
He'd win on points. Didn't win by TKO a minute ago. Maybe win by points. I'll give him that. Maybe points, mate. Maybe. If all the stars align in the universe and he gets lucky and Whittaker slips on a piece of ice that's in the octagon, he might win on points. Yeah? That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to give you. All right? I'm not going to change. That's my final statement.
Yoel Romero, mark my words. Yoel Romero, TKO in the third. He knocks him out in the clinch against the cage. Third round, TKO, Yoel Romero.
I don't know, man.
Clinches him.
BJ?
Go ahead, BJ.
I hear what you guys are saying, and you guys got some pretty valid points. What'd you say, Liam? What'd you say, Liam?
Bro, I thought I'm good.
We're waiting to hear who you're going with. He didn't say anything.
No, I didn't say nothing.
But Brad, okay. Well, Brad, I'm just saying, man, and y'all, if you're looking for an unbiased opinion, you're not gonna find it on No Filter MMA. We are biased, and we're gonna be biased.
Listen. I'm not biased at all. I'm not even a Yoel Romero fan like that. I'm just calling it how I see watching all of Whitaker's fights, watching all of Romero's fights, right? It's pretty simple. Robert Whitaker's 19-4. Yoel Romero is what? 14-2? Yes. 14-2.
Yes.
Yoel Romero has fought the much higher, again, experience is key. And Whitaker fought a hell of a fight in their first fight was a hell of a fight. He fought a hell of a fight, especially being injured by Yoel in that fight. Here's the thing.
First round, yeah.
Yeah, the first round. And it was from what? Yoel Romero, what did he do? He did a oblique kick right to the knee, right?
John Jones style.
Yep. Oh yeah. He kicked his knee out first.
So now think about it. Now, Whitaker has been out for what, almost a year now, right? Recovering from surgery. He's on top of not believing all the way in himself. Now he's got a big bullseye now on that knee. So think about now Yoel has already a weakness that he's going to target right off the bat. That's why it's not a knock on Whitaker's skills or anything. I know Whitaker is a phenomenal fighter. He's a great fighter, and he definitely if he doesn't get injured in that fight again, he could win the fight the same way he beat Romero the first time. Just staying more technical, keeping him at the end of his punches like he did, and Yoel gassed out. The thing that concerns me is we talked about it earlier, BJ. The flight from Australia to Chicago is one factor. For sure. I see you rolling your eyes, Liam, but that is a factor. For sure that's a factor.
Bro,
That's a time. He's got a time zone difference, bro. Time zone difference, and then on top of he's not 100%. Yeah. He's not 100% going into that fight, and you're fighting a killer like Yoel Romero. He now has a target that he's going to go after immediately.
Bro, I don't know.
And so
difference is going to be big. I feel like these guys have probably accommodated for a time zone difference in their training.
Bro, you can't. Here's the thing, Liam. You can't accommodate it. You can't accommodate for it unless you're living there. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't train in the United States full time. He's in Australia most of the time.
When is he moving? When is he catching the plane across? How many weeks before?
They're already there.
I'm pretty sure he came out maybe a week or two ahead. I'm not sure to be honest with you.
That
but
doesn't make sense. Jet lag at most will last 2-3 days most of the time, and the rest of the time you adapt to the time zone. There's no way it's making such a big deal as you were saying right now. It's obviously going to make some deal whatsoever, but I don't think time zone difference is up there in the amount of things that are wrong with
for sure it is.
You know?
What's the time difference? What's the time difference between Chicago and Australia?
Bro, I'm not sure, but I've done that flight myself, and I can tell you that when I came to Colorado from Perth, which is a further travel than it's further away than was he from Sydney to Chicago? It's much further. I was like 10, man, and I was good in 1 or 2 days, I had nothing wrong with me. So, like, Whittaker's an elite athlete. I was 10 years old. I'm not expecting him to be out for a couple of weeks because of the time zone difference, man. That's how it is. Like, I don't know. Maybe you think
listen,
that might be the case. But
It's a 10.
It could be a factor.
It's a 10-hour
10-hour difference.
Mm.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a huge difference.
Yeah,
that's a huge difference.
Well,
let me.
For a couple of weeks, bro. He's not going to make a big deal.
But you gotta think about it though. Sleeping patterns have to change. You don't know if he adjusted right away. 10 hours is a big difference. If it was 5 or 6 hours, I could see it.
Most people on the plane
Okay, hold on.
I'm going to just sleep for the first half of this plane when it's daytime in my country, and then I'll adapt to the next country because it'll be nighttime there. Like, most people can get it done while in the air, you know?
Well, hold on, real quick.
I just good.
Wait a minute. We got some live comments rolling, guys. First of all, guys, hit the like button for us. Please hit the like button. But Israel says, this is what Israel says. Well, excuse me, Dakey says, Whittaker by 3rd round TKO. His combos on the feet are too good. Romero will gas in the later rounds, and as long as Whittaker's knee doesn't go again, Whittaker will have the tools to put him away in the later rounds. Now, Israel says 4th round TKO. That's his only chance. I got it, Yoel, 4th round by giving away the first 3 rounds and not gas out if he fights all 5 rounds. Robert will hands down win. Yoel is too old for his style.
Now, that's the thing. Yoel is the exception to that rule, man. He is not too old for his style. First of all, if anything, he's changed his style. He was a wrestler at first. Now he's been kind of like a kickboxer in his last couple fights. Yeah, kickboxer. He's just so damn explosive. He's again another explosive athlete, you know. And
wait, boys, I know my mate's watching. Sorry, 2 seconds. I know my mate's watching because he's commenting on the videos. So I'm just gonna chuck this up. I don't know if you can read it, but yeah, I think you understand what it means. But yeah, all good. Did you see it? All right, is that visible?
Wait a minute. Back it up just a little bit. Back it up just a little bit.
Back it up.
Can't see it. Move it over a little bit. Move it to the right a little bit.
Move it over.
To the left. I'm sorry. To the left.
Yeah.
To the left.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
South Free Football.
South Free Football Oval.
Yeah, correct.
What is that?
Too easy. All right, don't worry about it.
Shout out to those guys. Shout out to those guys. Are those your mates' football team?
No, it's just one bloke. It's just the Ducky bloke. I think he's on there. That's my mate. Couple lines.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
Shout out to those boys. Shout out to you guys out there in Australia, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
All good, bro. Hey, but you know what? Whittaker can definitely beat Yoel Romero for sure. He definitely can. He is a phenomenal fighter. I'm just telling you, the thing that pops out in my mind is the injury. And for me, you make great points, Liam. It could not factor, but in my opinion, it's hard for me to fathom that a 10-hour difference isn't a factor at some point. You know what I'm saying? It factors in. Maybe not as much as I think, but those little factors, when you have 2 fighters that are pretty much even, when you think about it, they're both in their prime, and they're almost even. Just a little edge, like a knee injury and time travel and travel definitely makes a difference. Remember, Yoel is full-time in the United States.
I think Robert has I don't see the advantage is Whittaker's much better striking, man. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Whittaker has much better striking than Romero.
He's more technical for sure.
He's more technical. He throws better kicks. I mean, he does better combinations. So Romero, as I said before, he's got a phenomenal overhand that puts people to sleep. I mean, Rockhold was just...
The power advantage is on Yoel's side, hands down.
Yeah.
The power advantage goes to him.
It's so much power. I don't know. Whittaker has power as well. You know, Robert's a Reaper Whittaker. Most of his things are knockouts, TKOs and everything.
Yeah.
So, he does have power, but, I mean, Romero has that overhand that seems to crack chins, man. Like that's how it is, and I don't know.
But the thing with
he hasn't really when he fought Whittaker, he didn't crack him. So I mean, he might have the power, but what's up?
But the thing with Robert Whittaker is when you look at his fights, he doesn't fight the same way every time. Like he switches it up. You know, you can tell that he trains. You know that he trains different styles of stand up because he uses those different styles of stand up every time he fights. But
karate, he's got all this stuff.
Oh yeah, and to go back to what Brad was saying, as far as who wins or loses. Robert Whittaker has the blueprint already of how to beat Yoel Romero because they fought before. So you have to play that. You have to put that into play as well. Even with all the tools that Yoel Romero and all the ways that Yoel Romero could win, he still has lost to Robert
guys. Let's not forget Yoel Romero is going to make adjustments too. I mean, he never fights the same way in all his fights either.
But the cardio is also a thing too. Look at Yoel Romero's cardio versus Robert Whittaker's cardio.
What's it called?
But listen. Did he went the full 5 rounds? He went the full 5 rounds. What was the last time? With that?
Go ahead, Liam.
Romero's cardio, like it's been questioned in the past, but for that last 5 rounder, his cardio.
Look, you see, that's the thing. I think that's absolute rubbish, though. Like, so the question is cardio. When? Listen, but think about it. Think about when the last time he was finished, and then think about the only fight that he lost went 5 rounds. Every other fight, he's either knocked his opponent out or he's gone the distance and won in a dominant fashion. So I don't understand why people question his cardio. Like he's there every time.
In some fights, the last fight with Whittaker, his cardio wasn't questionable. He went 5 rounds. Whittaker was actually pretty heavier in the 3rd round than Romero was. But I mean, there were some fights to go admit he did look like Jacare Souza. Jacare Souza last fight, Gaston. Jacare Souza wasn't the last 4 rounds against Gaston.
And he still dominated that fight. That's crazy. Think about that. Yoel dominated that fight.
No. I'm talking about Jacare versus Gaston here. I'm talking about Jacare.
Oh, okay.
So Jacare versus Gaston, it was how Souza was in his last couple rounds. He's kind of wandering around throwing an overhand.
Yep.
Romero got like that for a couple fights in the UFC. He got like that for a couple. Jacare, for example, he got like that. It was kind of very like. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it. He's kind of lumbering around, throwing an overhand, lumbered around, throwing an overhand. It wasn't really a action-packed. It was kind of like it was kind of like walking around the ring, and then the big overhand came and finished the fight. But up until that point, it did look gassed, man. You got to admit, in terms of cardio, Whittaker has a better track record than Romero. Romero's track record is not bad, but Whittaker's track record is just better. And
that's debatable. That's debatable.
Heavier, I mean, they obviously have the power. They obviously have the the weigh-ins the day before. Everyone's the same weight and stuff. But Romero tends to come in the next day looking a lot heavier than his opponent usually.
Oh, he's gonna balloon up bigger.
Yeah, he always balloons up the day before, and so I don't know what way he's going to go in, but I just have a feeling with Romero might go in a bit too heavy on this one. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I just have a weird feeling he's going to go in too heavy. Because he went in this time maybe Rocco as well.
Well, this time
he went in heavy there.
Yeah, he came in heavy.
He missed weight.
Yeah, he missed about 2 pounds. He missed about 2 pounds, but think about it. He took that fight. Here we go. This kind of leads me back to what we were talking about earlier, Liam. The travel. He took that fight on short notice and had to travel all the way to Australia, right, in the middle of a weight cut to fight Rockhold on a week's notice in Australia. So of course he missed the weight. He had to travel. He had to get accustomed to being. He said it himself. The time change for him affected him in that fight, and he still dominated that fight. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was saying, like, even now you think about it on Whittaker's end. Yeah, he's younger. Maybe it won't affect him as much. But what I was my point was it does have some effect. It might not do
It
anything,
does.
but
It
you still
does.
have to consider it. You know what I'm saying?
It does have
Yeah.
some effect, and I agree. The only thing we can do, we're on two sides of the fence with this, guys. But the only thing we all can do is watch. The only thing we can do is watch the fight.
Yes,
You know,
sir. I
and
can't
this
wait.
is
I can't
this
wait.
is a
I can't wait
huge.
for the post fight podcast.
I
Liam,
can't wait for that
either
either.
I'm gonna look stupid or Robert Whitaker is gonna not be the champion anymore. So we'll see. We'll see on Saturday
We'll see.
night.
So our official predictions. My official prediction is Robert Whitaker and still. Go ahead,
Okay.
Liam. Go ahead, Liam. What's yours?
Well, I think we know what mine is, boys. I think I'm quite clear that Yoel Romero will not finish Whitaker in the third round by TKO, and Whitaker will regain the title in dominant fashion and continue to hold the title for a couple of years to come. That's the plan. That's the goal.
Go ahead, Brad.
I'm changing my prediction. I'm definitely changing my prediction now. All right. I got Yoel Romero, TKO, beginning of the second round. Now the TKO moves up because Yoel is going to hunt him down. Yoel hunts him down, TKO, beginning of the first round.
Well, Yoel knows from the
I'm sorry, beginning of the second round. Sorry, beginning of the second round.
But one thing I have
Feels
to say
him
about
out in the first.
Yoel Romero definitely knows that he's got the he has to put Robert Whitaker away. He knows that now.
He's going to put the pressure. He's going to have Whitaker on his back foot from the start of the fight. Thing is, Whitaker fights really good off of his back foot, and he proved that in their first fight. Whitaker is a great counter fighter.
And his takedown defense is
Yoel really didn't even attempt any takedowns in that fight, which was strange too.
No. There were 18 takedowns attempted and 4 were successful. That's what the stats said
What?
when I checked them yesterday. Remember I sent you a screenshot of it when I had a discussion. It was 18 attempted takedowns and 4 were successful.
So they said Yoel attempted 18 takedowns?
So they attempted 18 takedowns in the 5-round fight, and it was a 22% accuracy and only 4 were successful.
So he got 4 out of 22 takedowns?
Yes. No, 4 out of 18.
Yes.
4 out of 18.
4 out of 18 attempts.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's 4 out of 18.
Yes.
Let me do some quick calculations.
I think no, you're good. You're good. I think we're gonna have to watch that fight again because some of those attempts that they're calling takedown attempts aren't real attempts. What they are, they're feints. You know what I'm saying?
They're the judges, but we can't really kill them in the wrong. Yes,
that's crazy. I just would like to know what they consider takedown attempts. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole fight, Romero had Whitaker pretty much on his back foot. I believe it was the 4th and the 5th round. Whitaker started coming forward. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They called some of those clinch attempts like takedown attempts when they're not. You know, in wrestling, when wrestling. Yeah, well, in wrestling, those aren't really attempts. You know, they're made to. It's kind of like a feint. You know, like when you're standing up fighting, you're throwing feints. In wrestling, there's different feints. You reach different level changes, but I guess they count those as attempts. You know, but
they're clinch throws and if they're clinch throws and they're clinch trips, man, they're pretty much takedowns in most cases because you get the guy onto his back and you want to mount him from there. You know? Right.
But if you really
thing we haven't discussed is I think Whitaker has definitely Romero, I'm not gonna deny he's got vicious ground and pound. What was that one? It was just elbowing that guy in the ribs. That was crazy. But I think there's no denying it. Whitaker has the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu advantage, and it's going to be hard for Romero to keep him in the dominant position on the ground because Whitaker has that. He's got I think it's a brown belt. He's got a brown and black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at the moment. It's going to be hard for him to keep him at any mount or full mount without. I feel like Whitaker, if it goes to the ground, Whitaker's just going to be transitioning out of it And Romero
Yeah, well,
I don't.
ground and pound.
Yeah, I don't.
Romero,
But that's pretty much.
Romero doesn't. When he gets to the ground, it's not to submit anybody. He doesn't look for positioning. For Romero, once he gets down there, yeah, it's just smash. It's just smash.
Like against Weidman, you can see against the Weidman fight, he was doing that. You're trying to do ground and pound on Weidman. And Weidman, he got hit by some shots, but Weidman was literally just transitioning out, getting to full mount, just sitting there.
Bro, but I was telling you in the chat, Chris Weidman is a legit black belt on the ground. He's a higher level than Whitaker is.
But Whitaker's brown, man. Black and brown, I mean, it's obviously a difference. But I mean, brown's up there, man. You can't get much higher than brown.
Yeah, no. Listen, Whitaker can definitely hold his own off his back. Yeah. But Romero's objective when he gets you down to the ground, it's only one thing. It's just to try to smash. Yeah, smash. That's it.
Man. It's literally Lesnar.
Right. Lesnar, but was more explosive. Yeah, he's just more explosive.
Well, so do you? I mean, he's more
explosive. Yes. Lesnar is not going to knock anybody out with a flying knee off of a takedown attempt like Yoel Romero did.
When I'm talking about explosivity, some of Lesnar's takedowns, you got to admit, I mean, it's hard to get more explosive, and ground and pound as well. It's very hard to get more explosive ground and pound and takedowns than Brock Lesnar. And he was bowling people over and just smashing their faces to pulp. Like, we can't deny that. You know, I mean, he's obviously been done so many times, but still, you know.
He out of five of Lesnar's wins, 3 of them were finishes. One was against a 50-year-old Randy Couture. He was getting smashed in the Carwin fight. He came back and won that by triangle choke, and then not triangle choke, head and arm triangle. And then his third win was that was it actually. So he had 2 finishes out of his 5 wins. You know what I'm saying? Yoel Romero.
I'm not comparing the striking. I was comparing the wrestling. Striker. I'm just saying.
Yoel is an explosive period with his wrestling. Yeah, but you also got to think about it too. Yoel. Yeah. Oh, bro. Yoel Romero is an Olympic champion wrestler. Lesnar had only made it to the collegiate level in the United States. So Romero's wrestling credentials exceed Lesnar's wrestling.
He's got the best in UFC at the moment. Romero has the best wrestling credentials
for sure.
in the UFC at the moment.
Hands down.
Maybe Khabib,
hands down.
It's different. Khabib's a bit different than Sambo. He's got the different style, but he's up there.
So let me ask
him and
Khabib.
Jones, he didn't compete. John Jones was pretty good. But, I mean, he didn't pursue it, but a lot of people.
GSP.
He could have got all the way up.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a question. Right quick. So do you think based on what we, what you guys are talking about, what we're discussing about the wrestling, in the stand up, in this main event, where do you see the fight being predominantly? Liam, I'm gonna let you answer first.
If those stats are correct, and if those stats are correct, and they've said he's got 22% takedown efficiency, Romero. I don't know if they're correct, but that's what it said. So if his takedown, if Whitaker's takedown defense is that good, I don't see it going to ground, man. Because Whitaker's not going to want it to ground because he knows he's a better striker than Romero, and he doesn't need to go to ground. He doesn't need to do that. He's going to outstrike him on his feet. And I just see it completely striking. And Romero's going to come in with a couple of takedowns, and Whitaker's going to stuff him. And they're just going to strike on their feet, and Whitaker's going to land some combinations, and it's going to be the same. It's going to be similar last time, except Whitaker's going to be more dominant because, like you said, PJ, he's going to have a better read of the opponent, and I think he's going to finish him this time. That's what I believe.
What
you
think, Brad?
Might land some big shots.
I'll let Liam finish. Go ahead, man.
Overhand, and maybe he might try and tap some knees, but I don't think he's going to stop Whitaker. That's what I reckon. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, great points. And you're absolutely right, Liam. I agree with actually. If I envisioned Whitaker winning, it's exactly the way you said he would win for sure. I believe that they both neutralize each other in in the wrestling department, especially defensively, because Whitaker's has phenomenal takedown defense. So it really of their first fight where it will be primarily standing. For me, I think Yoel closes the distance, ends up just grinding on Whitaker in the clinch, working that knee. The goal for Whitaker is going to be to isolate that knee. As dirty, it sounds dirty because you never want to make somebody else's injury worse, but it's a fight, and it is a bullseye. He knows that knee has been surgically repaired, and there's no way that it's 100%. Whitaker is just a fucking warrior and says, "Fuck it, let's fight the baddest man on the planet." But I think Romero gets him in the clinch, works his knee, drains Whitaker down, and then finally he ends up. I think one of those overhands gets in, and he TKOs Whitaker. Again, inside 3, probably right around the beginning of the second.
Okay. Hey, well, I see the fight. I see it being on the feet. I see, Yoel Romero trying to hang with Robert Whitaker on the feet, trying to land a big shot because he can land a big. I mean, look at the Mackenzie Dern. Ashley, who did Mackenzie Dern just knock out? What was her name?
Amanda Cooper. Amanda Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. I mean, that was a striker versus grappler matchup, and look at the overhand right that landed for Mackenzie Dern. I mean, so it could go that way. Yoel Romero could be shooting for something like that as far as landing that big shot, stunning Robert Whitaker. And I don't see him. So if he does do that, I don't see him submitting him. I see him ground and pounding him out. But
TKO, yeah.
I also see Robert Whitaker being very mobile. Dancing around, tiring out Yoel Romero and picking him off on the feet. So that's pretty much what I see. So I'm gonna have to go with Yoel, with Robert Whitaker on this one.
Okay.
And I see it on the feet the most of the fight.
Okay. No, those are very good prediction, boys, for sure. I like I told you again, I wouldn't be surprised if Whitaker wins the fight, for sure. I would not be surprised at all.
Fucking UFC 225 is a huge card. Like this card is so huge that this is one of the biggest cards of the year so far. It's been some good cards this year, but this by far is the biggest card of the year. Yeah, so I cannot wait. Everything from the prelims up is good. So everything's good. There's a lot of fights that I'm gonna be sitting there with a beer in one hand and a pen, pad, and paper in the other hand. So I'm gonna be glued to the TV. It's crazy.
I wish we could watch those fights together, boys.
One day, man. One day we're gonna get together and watch these fights, man. Absolutely. But that's all we got. That's all we got. I'm glad Liam was able to jump in and join us. Talking about the co-main and the main event.
A little bit late.
That was awesome.
My bad.
It's all
good,
man.
Liam.
It's all
You're
good.
good.
Everybody loves you. Everybody loves you, man.
Liam.
They were all
Thank
asking
you for coming on, bro.
Absolutely, Brad, man. Appreciate it, man. But a lot. We've been going for a couple. We know we needed to put some content out. There's your content. We just put a lot of content out.
We will be more consistent, guys. Don't worry. We'll be more consistent with our content.
Absolutely. It's a little difficult with the time change and all that stuff, but time difference, but we're gonna make it happen, guys. We got a lot of stuff in store coming your way.
All right, gentlemen. Yoel, Soldier of God, Romero, over and out. See you boys on Saturday night.
But so just stick with us. Be out of here.
Have a good night, everybody.